The first drops of rain hit the windows of the Santa Maria mansion when Maria Elena first crossed the white marble threshold. Her trembling hands held a plastic bag containing her cleaning uniforms, while her humble eyes scanned the high ceilings adorned with crystal chandeliers that cost more than anything she had ever owned. "Señora Maria Elena, welcome," the butler said coldly. "Professional. Mr. Swameria is in his office. He is not to be disturbed under any circumstances. Little Sofia is in her room on the second floor. Nor is she to be interrupted." Maria Elena nodded silently, accustomed to the invisibility her job granted her. She had worked in so many elegant homes that she knew her place. To clean without being seen, to work without being heard, to exist without being noticed. But something changed when, on the third day, she heard a soft chirping coming from the garden. From the kitchen window, she saw a little girl barely 6 years old sitting under the rosebush that had once been the pride of Mrs. Santa Maria. Sofia, with her wrinkled white dress and disheveled golden curls, was clutching a portrait to her chest. Maria Elena's heart sank. She recognized that loneliness, that sadness that seemed too great for such a small body. Without thinking, she went out into the garden with a tray of homemade cookies she had brought from her humble home. "Hello, little princess," she murmured softly, sitting on the grass, unconcerned about staining her uniform. "Would you like a cookie? I made them myself." Sofia raised her green eyes, puffy from crying. For the first time in months, someone spoke to her as if she were a child and not a porcelain figurine that could break. "My mommy made cookies," she whispered, her voice cracked. "But she's not here anymore." Maria Elena felt her soul shatter. "I know, my love, but you know I'm sure your mommy is in heaven watching over you like the most beautiful angel in existence." The following days became a secret routine. While Mr. Santa Maria locked himself in his office, immersed in contracts and bitterness, Maria Elena and Sofia created their own world. He taught her songs from her childhood, braided her hair while telling her stories of brave princesses. And little by little, the little girl's laughter began to echo again in the empty halls of the mansion. "Maria Elena," Sofia said to her one afternoon as they played with paper dolls they had made together, "you could be my new mommy." Tears welled up in Maria Elena's eyes. "Oh, my love. I'm just a lady who comes to clean, but I promise I'll always be here to take care of you." Without realizing it, they had sealed a pact of love that would soon be tested in the cruelest way. The icy Tuesday wind whipped against the glass when Eduardo Santa Maria decided to leave his office early. The numbers on the financial statements blurred before his tired eyes, and for the first time in months, he felt the need to see his daughter. He climbed the marble stairs with heavy steps, each step burdened with the weight of his guilt. Since Isabella's death, he had built invisible walls between himself and Sofia, convinced that his grief was too toxic to contaminate his little girl's innocence. But what he saw when he opened the door to Sofia's room froze his blood. There was his daughter sitting on the carpeted floor, laughing with a joy he hadn't seen in months. And next to her, that woman, that maid who dared to use Isabella's pearl necklace to play princesses with Sofia. "What the hell is going on here?" Eduardo roared, his voice cutting through the air like a whip. Maria Elena stood up immediately, removing her necklace with trembling hands. "Señor Santa Maria, I was alone. I'm not interested in hearing your excuses. How dare you touch my wife's belongings? How dare you manipulate my daughter?" "Didino." Sofia clung to Maria Elena's skirt. "Maria Elena didn't do anything wrong. She tells me beautiful stories and makes me laugh like a mother." "Silence." Eduardo's voice broke. "This woman doesn't have the right to replace your mother. No one has that right." Maria Elena swallowed, feeling the injustice piercing her like 1,000 daggers. "Señor, please. I never tried to replace anyone. I just wanted the girl gone. Out of my house immediately." Eduardo pointed at the door with a trembling hand. "I don't want to see your face around here again. And if you dare come near my daughter again, I'll call the police." Sofia began to cry uncontrollably. "No, Maria Elena, you can't leave. She takes care of me. She loves me. Love can't be bought with cookies and cheap stories. Eduardo muttered contemptuously. This woman is only here for the money. Maria Elena felt the world crumble at her feet. With dignity, despite the pain that suffocated her, she turned to Sofia and caressed her cheek, damp with tears. My beautiful princess, I will always love you very much. You are the most beautiful gift God has ever given me. Don't go. Please don't go. Sofia clung to her desperately. Eduardo pushed his daughter away firmly. Leave now. Maria Elena gathered her things with a broken heart, while Sofia's sobs resonated like a painful echo throughout the mansion. As she crossed the main gate, she didn't know that the most difficult trial of her life had just begun. The days dragged by like gray ghosts in the Santa Maria mansion. Sofia had built a wall of silence so impenetrable that neither her father's pleas nor the pediatrician's visits could penetrate it. I don't want to eat, she whispered in a barely audible voice when her favorite dishes were brought to her. I don't want to talk, she repeated when the child psychologists tried to connect with her. Eduardo paced the halls like a caged lion, watching as his daughter slowly faded away. The purplish dark circles under her green eyes deepened every day, and her little body, which once ran and jumped, now remained motionless in bed, hugging the same portrait of Isabella that Maria Elena had found that first day. Sir, the new housekeeper told him, an older woman with a stern face. The girl hasn't eaten in 3 days. Maybe we should. Don't tell me what to do, Eduardo growled, but inside, panic ate at him like acid. Dr. Mendoza, the family pediatrician, came out of Sofia's room with a grave expression. Eduardo, we need to talk. In the library, surrounded by books that Isabella had once read aloud to Sofia, the doctor didn't mince words. Your daughter is entering a state of severe depression. Her immune system is weakened. She's lost almost 4 kilograms. And if she continues like this... He took off his glasses and sighed. Eduardo, children can literally die of sadness. What are you telling me? Eduardo's voice trembled. You need to find out what changed 2 weeks ago because according to my records, by that point Sofia had begun to improve noticeably. That night Eduardo stayed up watching over his daughter's restless sleep. Between deliriums of fever, Sofia murmured a name over and over again. Maria Elena. Maria Elena. At dawn on the 5th day, when Sofia couldn't get out of bed and her breathing became labored, Eduardo felt he'd hit rock bottom. His pride, his pain, his fury. None of that mattered if he lost the only thing he had left of Isabella. My princess whispered to Sofia, stroking her sweat-drenched curls. Tell me what you need to smile again. Sofia opened her glassy eyes. And with a whisper that broke his heart she whispered, I want Maria Elena to come. Only she can make me feel better. Eduardo closed his eyes, feeling his world of controls and barriers crumble. Rain fell relentlessly on the poor neighborhood when Eduardo Santamaria stopped his black Mercedes in front of the small brick house where Maria Elena lived. He had never set foot on an unpaved street. He had never felt the mud splashing his Italian shoes, but none of that mattered. Now, with his heart hammering in his chest, he knocked on the rusty metal door. Maria Elena opened it, and her eyes filled with surprise and fear at the sight of him standing in the rain, soaked and with a distorted face. Mr. Santamaria, she began, but he interrupted her, raising a trembling hand. Please, his voice cracked like glass. My daughter is dying. The words fell between them like heavy stones. Maria Elena placed her hands over her heart, feeling the world shake. Sofia, what happened to my little girl? Since you left, Eduardo had to pause to control the trembling in his voice. She won't eat, she won't speak, she won't smile. The doctors say she could die of sadness. Tears began to roll down her cheeks. I was an idiot, a terrible father. I thought I was protecting her, and I only managed to hurt her more. Maria Elena didn't hesitate for a second. Come on, take me to her right now. The drive back to the mansion was silent, filled with urgency and regret. Eduardo gazed in the rearview mirror at this humble woman who had accomplished in days what he couldn't in months, bringing joy back to his daughter. Maria Elena murmured when they arrived. I need her to know that we'll talk later, she interrupted him gently. Sophia needs us now. As she entered the room, Maria Elena felt her heart pound. He cringed. His little princess lay pale and fragile between the white sheets, breathing heavily. My beautiful heaven, he whispered, approaching the bed. Here I am, my love. Sophia slowly opened her eyes, and when she saw Maria Elena, a weak but genuine smile lit her gaunt face. Did you come? She asked hoarsely. Did you really come? Course I came, my princess. I promised I'd always be here to take care of you. Eduardo watched from the doorway, seeing his daughter transform before his eyes. Maria Elena began singing the same Cuna song she had taught her weeks before, and miraculously, Sophia began to breathe more easily. That night, for the first time in days, Sophia tried some soup. The next day she sat up in bed. On the third day she asked to be read a story. A week later, Eduardo found Maria Elena in the garden while Sophia was playing with butterflies among the rose bushes. I don't know how to apologize, Eduardo began, his voice heavy with humility. I was cruel, unjust, blind. You gave my daughter her life back, and I threw her out like a maid. And that's what I am, Mr. Santa Maria. No, Eduardo shook his head. You are much more than that. You are the person my daughter needed. The person I needed without knowing it. Sophia ran toward them, her cheeks rosy and her eyes shining with life. Papa, Maria Elena taught me how to make a flower crown for Mama. Eduardo knelt down to his daughter's level and, for the first time since Isabella's death, spoke of her without pain. Your mama would have loved it, princess. And you know what? I think she sent Maria Elena to take care of us both. 3 months later, in an intimate ceremony in the same garden where it all began, Eduardo asked Maria Elena to stay forever, not as an employee, but as the mother Sophia had chosen and the companion he had found in the most unexpected place. When Maria Elena walked down the improvised altar among the rosebushes, she was wearing the same pearl necklace Isabella had, but this time with a loving blessing of an entire family who had learned that true love knows no class, only hearts that recognize each other. And Sophia, radiant in her white dress, scattered rose petals as she whispered to the wind, "Thank you, Mommy, for sending me an angel to bring a smile back to my face." Love had triumphed, healing wounds that seemed incurable and proving that sometimes the most beautiful endings are born from the most painful beginnings.